Hi guys, welcome to COSC100 Tutorial 8, exercise number 4. In this exercise, you're going to be creating some views for a data set. And to start off with, we're going to be working with our customer orders refunds data set that we looked at in the lecture. So I'm going to go through and create my database. I'm going to go drop that in and create all of my tables. And then we can insert the sample data into those tables. So this is the same stuff that we worked with in the lectures. If we go and drop that in, you can see that all of that's been successfully executed. And if I go back to my COSC100 database here, I have my 3 new tables, my customer table, my orders and refunds table, and we can see from the information up the top here that they've got some rows of data in them. So the first question here asks us to create a database view named good customers that returns the first name and last name of any customer with at least one order over $100. So in order to implement this view, I'm just going to move that over a touch. Oops, grab hold of that one, move it over here. First of all, we're going to use the create view operation, and we're going to give it our name. We're going to call it good underscore customers, and we want to then create that as the query. We want to grab the first name and last name. So the first name field is just first name or one word. So we grab the first name. Oops. Last name. We're going to be grabbing that from. So we're going to have to join customers to orders. So we're going to go customer. I'm going to use an inner join in this situation. Customer inner join orders on, and we're going to be using our customers ID. So we're going to be using orders customer ID is going to be equal to our customer ID. So basically we're just creating a query where we're joining those two tables together via the customer ID, and we then need to go and put our where clause in. So we only want to get records returned where the order amount is greater than 100. So we'll use the order amount field, and we'll just have greater than 100. So if we go through, create that view, we can then test our view. So I'm just going to quickly comment those lines out. So if we want to test our database view, all we have to do is do a quick select statement. So recall that views are like saved queries that can be used in exactly the same way as tables. So by carrying out this one, we can see that we've returned our record of data from that. So we've tested our first view. The next question asks us to create a database view called customer refunds that returns the first name, last name, and the refund amount. So I'm going to start with the same query again to create our next view. Uncomment all of that out. So this view has to be called, we want it named refund customers. And we're going to need to also join this one to our refunds table. So we're going to use an inner join to, now because we only want to create that returns for all customers, we only want data for all customers that have refunds, we can use an inner join operation here. So if they don't have a refund, we don't want the information for them. So we can do an inner join instead of an outer join on refunds on orders.order ID equals refunds.order ID. So that's successfully linked our tables together there, and we don't care about the where condition, so we want every record every refund returned. So when we go and run this, that should give us a nice view. And again, we can then go and test our view. So we'll go and select all of the data from our refund customers view that we've created. So you can see here, if we this one, you can see that we've only got 2 refunds and we've got the first name and last name. I think we also need to have the order amount in there as well. So just quickly go back through. We can drop that view because we want to update it. Refund customers. So if we drop that view, that removes our view. You can also do that via the object browser. And we might go and add the order amount in there as well. So it's the refund amount. Oops, what have I done here? Refund, not redone. There we go, refund amount. So now we've returned all of our items, and again we can go and test our query out, test out our view. So if we comment that one out, test our view, and we can see that we've now got the refund amount returned. So we have a nice view there that automatically joins those together. So now we don't have to, every time we want to use this information, we don't have to go through this awkward join operation. We can just use the refund customers view to view that. Let's move on to the next one. So the next one is next view asks us to create a view called name length that returns the total length of each customer's name, e.g. the length of the first name plus the last name. So we can jump on in. In this situation, we're going to need to, first of all, I just want to test our query because this one's slightly more complicated. So we want to select, I believe the function call that we're after here is in lecture, oops, we want COSC100, sorry. So for this one, we're in lecture, lecture 15. Has our functions in here, and we want to use, whereas our functions, here are our Postgres functions. So we want to use the char length operation in this situation. So we want to grab the char length of our first name, and we're just going to simply add that to the char length of our last name. So in our query, we also need to grab the total length of each customer's name. So we're going to select that from our customer table. So if we go through, we can test that. So you can see here we've got an unidentified column, but it's given us the total lengths of our names there. So now all we need to do is put that into our view. So we can do that. We need a view called name length. So again, create view, name length as our query. You can see there we've created our view, and now we can go and test that our view is working correctly. Should be fine because we've tested the underlying query. We run through and run our select statement, you can see that we get our items returned. Now, if we wanted to make this a little bit more tidy, we can put some names. We can create a set of names for our columns, but I haven't asked you to do that in this exercise. The final exercise asks us to create a view called upper names that returns the first name, the uppercase, returns the first name and last name fields converted to uppercase. So again, jumping back to lecture 15, we're going to be using the upper keyword, the upper operation. So to do that, we then go and first of all, we'll construct our underlying query. So we're going to select upper first name, upper last name, Now I can see that there's going to be a problem here, but I'll go through and continue on with this from our customer table. So if we go through and run this, we can see that now we've got the upper returned. Now the interesting thing here is that both columns have the name upper listed in them. So if I go and create a view, let's go and see what happens if we go and try to create a view out of this query. So we need this query to be named upper names, upper underscore names. And when we run this, you can see that we get an error. The error states that column upper is specified more than once. And that's because the results of both of these are called upper. So we need to go in and rename them. So we'll call this column upper first. So I'm going to use the as operator to rename them. Upper last. So if I go through and create that one, you can see that now that I've explicitly named the columns using the as operation, it's allowing me to create my view. Now when I go and test my view, see very quickly that the column names have been set correctly, set according to those names that I've specified there. So if we go and run that, you can see here now we have two nice and tidily named columns, upper first and upper last, and everything's been returned in uppercase. So that's all I have for exercise number 4. Thanks for listening, guys.